When your girlfriend agrees to roleplay, but she dresses up as a maid. I was hoping for Kenobi. Why are you here? Your father wanted you to have this when you were old enough. I hate you. Give this lightsaber to my son when he gets old enough. Darth Vader. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think of my wife. I'll never forget our final moments. Darth Vader. Flashback. Help me, my husband's trying to kill me. When you reach page 16 of the instructions for Lego set 7283, this is where the fun begins. When you send Qui-Gon on simple negotiations, and he returned with a sleeve boy whom he won betting in pod races. There weren't enough right males in the Acolyte trailer. Right males make up only 7% of the population here on Earth. How frequent would you see them in an entire galaxy full of aliens? Good point. Probably not much. If I had a nickel for every time Vader's mask was cut open in battle, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. What we all see. What the Germans hear. Star Wars. Star Wars if Qui-Gon ever got an Anakin. Star Wars. See in the first 5 minutes of the first movie, episode 4, after capturing Princess Leia, when they see a ship escaping, and they do not detect life forms. They destroy it, because they realize that there could be droids in it. The real world, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Star Wars Galaxy. Did Callus cut his sideburns to match his helmet, or cut his helmet to match his sideburns? Mop, can I have a Shin Hattie? No, we have Shin Hattie at home. Shin Hattie at home. Sol. Close your eyes. Star Wars. Star Wars if Qui-Gon ever got an Anakin. Canon. Complex character. Pretty important. Ice, but there's more to them than that. Fannon. Ducking dead lol. Hey, did you know they died? Their delt is their only trait. Me, hey, some friends will come over later. That's okay. Grandma, sure my dear, I'll bake you some cookies. Me, no need to, thanks, we be fine. Grandma, oh, I'm afraid the cookies will be quite operational when your friends arrive. I was hoping for Kenobi. Why are you here? He had some short negotiations to tend to. Meanwhile, across the galaxy. Star Wars. Lightsaber boom boom. Blaster pew pew. Explosion boom boom. Deep and profound emotional human stories. Perfectly balanced. As all things should be. Girls, she's wearing the same outfit as me. Boys. When your opponent uses Stone Edge. When you use Tackle. He could save others from doubt, but not himself. Explaining Rogue One. It is a sequel to the prequels of the sequels of the prequels that are the originals, in which this is a prequel of, but not a sequel to the sequel of the originals. So am I in this one or not? George W. Bush trying to find incidents that Saddam Hussein was supporting terrorists and had weapons of mass destruction. Impossible. Perhaps the archives are incomplete. I'm a Jedi, like my father before me. Strange hermits living in the desert distributing lightsabers is no basis to being a Jedi. Girls, I can't believe he didn't cry at the Titanic. Do men even have feelings? Boys. Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. I don't think so. No one can kill a Jedi. My father didn't fight in the wars. He was a navigator on a spice freighter. Spice turns you from this into this. Spice. Not even once. Mark Hamill and Frank Oz had to worry about snakes on the Empire Strikes Back set. Scary snakes are. Why did it have to be snakes? Oh no, I'm not brave enough for politics. My allegiances are to the Republic, to democracy. My friend. When was John Williams in his prime? Me. That's the neat thing. He always was. You talk about spreading order through the galaxy and you become a hero. I do it and I become the enemy. That doesn't seem fair. Me meeting George Lucas for the first time. Greetings Exalted One. Tell me, what comes into your mind? Listen Al Gabe. Roses are red, violets are blue. They're still coming through. When I find the place where the fun begins. This is where the fun begins. You know what today is? Just a random Sunday, young fool. If you don't let the resistance go, then 3PO will become angry and use his magic. The Walking Dead writers. Any character that's a child. Close your eyes. What do you see? Hello there. He's more machine now than man. Beep woo. I'm about to end this man's whole career. Close your eyes. What do you see? I see through the lies of the Jedi. The Chinese government, after erasing any incidents of the Tiananmen Square massacre on the internet. Hooray. Perhaps the archives are incomplete. When you run out of body wash and use antibacterial hand soap instead. I felt a great disturbance in the force, as if millions of voices suddenly cried out in terror and were suddenly silenced. Surviving World War I. Few no more war. World War II is approaching. I know this sounds crazy, but I think the Sith have returned. 100 years before we did. Camille figured out. Camille, a real low point this is. Yes, hurts this one does. When you find out that your mom gave away your Minecraft handbooks, the sacred texts. Sol, tell me what comes into your mind. Youngling 3, I see fire. It's like poetry, it rhymes. Things never happen the same way twice. Sol, tell me what comes into your mind. Youngling 3, I see fire. But can you see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch? Tell me, what comes into your mind? Life. Balance. Star Wars. Star Wars. If Palpatine had lost the Galactic Senate selections. This isn't a fortress. It's a tomb. This place isn't a fortress. It's a tomb. Corporate needs you to find the differences between this picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Tell me, what comes into your mind? Life. Balance. I see the chick from the Matrix movies. Close your eyes. What do you see? I see myself shaking hands with Dumbledore. I've won the House Cup for Gryffindor. Therapist. Robert Lewandowski isn't real. He can't hurt you. Robert Lewandowski. The second clone assassin is one of the old boys from Clone Wars. It's Cody who deserted after the mission on Essex. It's tech which literally wouldn't make any sense whatsoever. Revenge of the Sith alternate ending. His name shall be Luke Skywalker. Maybe, maybe not. But he needs to have the name Skywalker for the fans. Wait a minute, Skywalker? Don't you think that's like really ducking stupid? The Empire will be looking for a name like that. 4 days later. Nia, the one who will bring balance to the Force. When you're the first to wake up at the sleepover. Anakin in episode 2. I don't like sand. Darth Vader in Obi-Wan Kenobi, episode 3. I don't have such weaknesses. Darth Vader versus his son. Darth Vader versus anyone else. Hey Kathleen, why don't you duck up Star Wars again? That was like 8 years ago, ace-hole. People don't forget. You are on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of good dog. Disney killing Star Wars in 3 steps. Star Wars, Disney kills Han Solo. Star Wars, Disney kills Luke Skywalker. Star Wars, Disney kills Leia Organa. Dune is just a cash grab rip-off of Star Wars. It will never peak as high as Star Wars did. How do we tell him? Dune is better than Star Wars. Change my mind. That's a pretty cool lightsaber you have there, Luke. I once killed a bunch of children with it. I don't seem to remember ever owning a droid. R4 who died for him. Me and my friend hanging out playing GTA San Andreas when he stumbled upon the jetpack. My friend. Me. Look at you with your fancy ducking jetpack. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, they used Phillips head screws. The shield generator's been hit. What? Why was shield generator placed outside the shield? Who the hell designed this ship? When he is force choking you and fires one in your exhaust port at the same time. When you give one last look at your Star Wars figures before you leave your room. when you're waiting to take the stage in game. Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order. Girl, I bet he's thinking about other girls. Guy, why did Luke's metal hand disappear with him when he died? Me trying to watch The Last Jedi in the theater. Crosshair. Cross. Palpatine. See Cute Order 66. Cody. So anyway, I started blasting Rex. The Bad Batch. I don't know what that means, and at this point, I'm too afraid to ask. When you realize the Bad Batch is just the Star Wars version of these guys. You're in Costa Rica at the beach bar and these two Swedish birds sit down across from you. How do you open? Did you ever hear the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? 2002, 20 years later. Sometimes you gotta ask yourself the question, where did you get your bulk hair? Guess we'll never know. Modern Sith. No my wife is gone, and I'm stuck in a machine for the rest of my life. Ag. A farmer boy is destroying my super weapon. Ancient Sith. To pain is to live, and boy, am I living. You listen to the background music of a game while playing it. I listen to the Imperial March on a loop. We are not the same. He's more machine than man now. LMAO, I did that to him. Good times. Why don't you like sand? A. It's coarse. B. It's rough. C. It's irritating. D. It gets everywhere. Thinking about the funniest line from Clone Wars. That sounds like Tewo West Sim, Anakin. I will give you this money if you tell us something about the new Star Wars film. I hear they are thinking of doing another one. Girls with the time machine. I'm your granddaughter. Really? Boys with the time machine. Don't you sign that piece of paper. One day in the future someone's great train's niece will take a selfie among a collection of their dearest friends. It's not the Jedi way, he must live. Tell you what, if you let me violate the Jedi code this one time, I'll let you violate the code too. Anything you want, anytime. Sound good? Will you let me publicly marry Senator Amidala and help me get her the proper medical care she needs to carry her child to term? That's a suspiciously specific request, but okay. He made Anakin cry. Anakin always cries. Crying. That's not true. Had me when Anakin admitted to killing the Sand People. Both of you showed valor out there. Real courage. Reminds me of me, actually. I will finish what you stab. What you need to do is apologize to my daughter. Lol shut. I bet he's thinking of other women. In order to teach C-3PO, was Anakin also fluent in 6 million forms of communication? Or is there some galactic language database he could upload the info from? And if so, how did a sleeve from Tatooine get access to it? When D&D wanted to work on Star Wars so badly they refused to create more seasons of Game of Thrones, rushed the story, ruined characters, made millions of people hate them, and then got kicked off of Star Wars. Hysterical laughter. What the Disney Star Wars sequels should have been like. The survivors of the Death Star. Uramas Mirdera. Luke. Unfortunately for you, history will not see it that way. When have we ever followed orders? Me. Star Wars fans. Haha, Darth Maul survived. No, it makes no sense. How can he have survived? 40k fans. The orcs are driving using a painted on control panel. I know. The only good separatist is a dead separatist. Please stop destroying my home. Republic taxes mean I can't afford to feed my family. We just want planetary autonomy. Hayden Christensen's wife doesn't want her daughter to know her dad was Darth Vader. You turned her against me. Ahsoka, who's my new teacher? Yoda, him it is. Ahsoka, you mean this bearded man beside that 19-year-old boy? Yoda, no, 19 years old your teacher is. 14-year-old Ahsoka. When it's been 2 minutes and no one has mentioned the droid attack on the Wookiees. Any guys love to have a room for their silly hobbies. Star Wars. If it's a Star Wars room, it's a green flag, as long as they don't have a life-size stormtrooper. Lego. Lego is a green flag. He's just bad with money. One day he will realize and sell everything. It is a long-term investment. Naruto. Anime is always a red flag. But if you like anime too, you both are red flags, so it's okay. If he ever mentions Warhammer, run and prepare a restraining. Lord of the Rings fans, after watching the scene with Aragorn kicking the helmet, did you ever hear the tragedy of Viggo Mortensen's toe? Physics professors introducing resonance. Did you ever hear the tragedy of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge? Who was Anakin's father? There was no father. I can't explain what happened. When it's bring your father's brother's nephew's cousin's former roommate to work day. Beam me up, but I have a bad feeling about this. Do you think any of us will look back on our lives and regret things we didn't buy? General Solo, is your strike team assembled? When the duck did you become a general? No one said you were a general at the Battle of Hoth, and you've been frozen in carbonite all this time since then. So what the duck? You do not know the power of the dark side. Mr. Spock, I told you wearing that cloak does not make you a Sith Lord. I find your lack of faith disturbing. Remember this little guy? He became a Jedi. I have a 4-day week now. I no longer work 8 hours in 5 days, but 10 hours in 4 days. That's not how a 4-day week works. The cop trying to arrest me for drunk driving. Me, who has only been drinking at stoplights. Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars lore, George Lucas. Just tell her, urinate on a scale of 10. Urinate on a skeleton. How I feel after finishing my food. Weak, so weak. When they bring out dessert. Power, unlimited power. I'm American. I don't use the metric system. I use the imperial system. If a girl can get thousands of likes for being heat, let's see how many likes the 2005 Battlefront 2 droideka can get for winning us the objective so many times. Disney introduces the Martez sisters in Star Wars for Latino representation. Also Disney makes them dog mules. Watching Anakin kill children. Hearing Kinoloy say he can't swim. There isn't any wind in space, so Darth Vader was using the Force to make his cape flow for aesthetic. People can only dream of being this extra. Chewbacca when he was in 5th grade. Destroy the ring. No, Isilda. Socially distanced talk. Shows are starting to look like the Jedi Council. Stormtrooper shaver. When you want that I missed every hair look. When you leave the cinema and realize J.J. Abrams ended the entire Skywalker saga on Palpatine successfully using love to manipulate, corrupt, hurt or kill every single Skywalker across 3 generations, ultimately resulting in the total eradication of the Skywalker, Solo, and Amidala bloodlines, whilst Palpatine's heir lives on and claims the Skywalker name and legacy. You son of a butch. Spaceballs is a better Star Wars movie than the entire Disney Star Wars trilogy. Change my mind. Obi-Wan, what do your binoculars see? The Urux turned northeast. They are taking the hobbits to Isengard. Dooku. When the shut has you tripping so hard that you no longer know whether you are at Burning Man or the Comic Con. Gen Alpha, you were supposed to destroy the boomers, not join them. Millennials seeing kids having fun by make similar stupid things like them in their childhood. I hate you. You can't call yourself a Star Wars fan if you don't know who this is. It's over, Taco Bell. I have the high ground. Does anyone get the feeling that Vader always has a giant smoke machine with him whenever he enters a scene? You misgendered me. You have misgendered yourself. I can't believe you bought me a vibing Thor. A vibing Thor? Is it possible to learn all of the genders? Not from biology. Dear Jin Mulan, lingers are an easy target. Obstruct your vision of opponent. Uncomfortable position for ist. Shadow B1. Lingers in prime position to poke eyes. Pointing in 2 different directions to confuse opponent. Relaxed wrist for optimal comfort. Clear line of sight of opponent and battlefield. Teacher, today we will be measuring objects. Please get your rulers. The girls, yay. I wonder how tall I am. The boys. Star Wars. Marvel. Disney refusing to stop shutting out content. Star Wars came out in 1977. Stormtroopers before 1976. Girls. Why do they always play with sticks? I have no idea. Boys, you underestimate my power. High ground. Star Wars. Marvel. Disney screwing up our brand to the point barely anyone else watches it. How many Jedi we initially thought survived the purge? How many Jedi actually survived the purge? In his belly, you will find a new definition of pain and suffering, as you are slowly digested over 1,000 years. Tell him that sounds stupid as duck, and that we would die of starvation or dehydration in less than a month. Tell him I said he sounds like an AJ who is clueless about biology. Tell him, 3PO. Tell him he is stupid as duck. In those exact words, 3PO. Mars Ameda, with the Jedi dead, what should we do with their temple? Palpatine. I don't care. Rent it out or something. Where is Anakin? Is he safe? Is he alright? It seems, in your sadness, you caused him to attack from the low ground. No. When you find someone with the same username as you. When you've been sitting at an intersection for more than 2 minutes and the light finally turns green. I have waited a long time for this moment, my little green friend. When you get one of your siblings to prank another one. You have done well.